Hello and welcome back to my Dune Spice Wars playthrough. So we are still playing 1 versus 3, no it's free for all basically setting, and we covered our early game, so we can exploit the spice now. We are getting a steady income here. We are in fact safely providing the Spacing Guild with the spice it requires, which is going to give us a little bit of victory score or hegemony when it triggers in 8 days. And the question we have to solve now is which is the next province we want to take. So we have our province here, which is a candidate for fuel cells, but also we have this territory here.
Listening. On the move.
Which we only partly discovered yet. But we also have the province down here, which has a decent buff from military, which we maybe want to take over. And of course down here a special region, which is also quite useful. However, that's already further away. So we want the money in fact here, so we are going to exploit this discovery here with our agent. And let's check the stats of this one. Plus 10% research production in the region, very good, and plus 1 resource recruitment office limit. Recruitment offices are for manpower production, and that's something very crucial. Also, we have a rare elements deposit here. We need the crafts workshop for that, and let's check out where that one is. The crafts workshop, we already unlocked it, so that's really good. In fact, this province definitely is going to be our next one, because we definitely need manpower production. We only have plus 1, and the next army we would recruit costs us 20 manpower, so we can't wait 20 days per military unit, so that's way too expensive. 58 is still a long way. Yeah. Down here we have our first storm arriving in the territory. However, yeah, it just disappeared, so it came from somewhere else, in fact. Okay, buildings are finishing, and we just have to wait for a lot of authority to take this province over. And now we are in the next event phase, or like the next election phase and voting phase. We can vote on decisions for the whole planet and all the factions. So we could, for example, promote the trial of the great houses, so all factions would suffer Lanceward standing. Lanceward standing is this score up here. This is basically how well your faction is perceived in the empire as a whole. So if you have like pariah and very low, you get a lot of negatives. If you have a very high score, you get positives values. I think you get more cash for the stuff you sell, but you also get more influence, I think. So you definitely want to be in the medium range, like 200 or more, or high if possible. So this is something we definitely don't want to happen. The labor rights for salary per positive manpower production, so we had plus 1, so it would be minus 4. That's also not very attractive. And military service, all units recruitment costs cost less, which is good. However, I don't think that we want to recruit anything anytime soon. So in fact we are going to vote across the board on negatives here. And we have 120 votes of 200, 300, 600 votes currently. So we can invest just 40 votes on everything. currently we have 120 votes. We could spend influence to go above our votes here. The Atreides have 100 votes here. The Harkonnens have 80 votes, and the minor houses have 300. Minor houses are basically random. You can influence them a little bit with events over the time. However, they are basically choosing, depending on the sympathy from the land threat standing and stuff like that, who to support or what not to support. So we are in fact just going negative on everything because we don't like any of the resolutions currently available. And well, while that's happening, we are going to wait here. So we're going to speed up a bit to just
Reporting for duty.
get ready to take the next province here. Meanwhile, we could think about what we could do here or up here. So what we want to build probably here or in this province is the experimental alloy furnace, which is going to give a huge income of a Solari, but also it takes like 300 plus greed, which is a lot. Okay, we got water here covered. We got... Let's just do another plus greed factory. It can't hurt. Yeah, and we just want to get the next province here. While our Ornithopter is constantly exploring. And in this province we can get extra cash from the rare elements here, which is going to allow the craftsman's workshop, which is going to give cash. Oh, there's another raid coming. So we are going to defend here. In fact, we are going to use this event here now to increase our siege detection, so we are going to invest into it. And in fact we found the first siege, which is probably the one which just sent a raid to us. Yeah, it's Carta here. And we could start trading with them, so we would give them 10 water, and they would give us 10 plus greed here. And they will get a better relation. So currently it's -4, the maximum is +100. And the higher the value goes, the less likely they are going to attack us. So instead they're going to attack other factions. And we want to do that, because also when you got 100 relations, you could place an agent, which you have in your agent screen, as an emissary here, and then you get another bonus, which is this one, Toolmakers. All Solari upkeep of all buildings is reduced by 20%. That's quite big when you got a lot of buildings. So this one is a really, really nice bonus, and we don't want to attack them, purge them. Of course, if you would pillage them, you would get 3.6k cash, 21 authority, and 107 spice. Also quite attractive, however not the thing we can... Nothing we could tackle right now. Instead we are going to fight them and just let it be and improve our relations over time here. And also, of course, we also get a little bit of experience from that. So construction complete, siege detected, and the votes are going on. And there's the next agent, which we are also going to put on Arrakis. Each agent has a trait, which is basically this time Otter has a Suk Doctor title, so he gives additional knowledge, more science. And Gardi, he is faster in recruiting more agent, which is just happening over time. So the next agent is in 14 days. Yeah. And now we have an authority income of +5 already. Okay. So we paid our fee here, which gave us a little bit of victory score. Spice contract fulfilled, +500. And as you can see here, They paid us 880 spice, Atreides and Harkonnens too. And they are going to give us 176 and 172 next time. So under current conditions in 24 days we are going to have not enough spice. Interesting. Okay, let's get the cash here.
Yes, Majesty.
And let's
On
start
the offensive.
taking the province here. Okay. So the resolutions, everybody voted on it, and as you can see here, the first two all got rejected, but the military service got approved, mostly because Atreides and Harkonnens put a lot of votes in there, and well, that's fine for me for the moment. And also we supported the guild, so we got +1 Solari production. And the other factions have paid their due, so now we have the 160 spice from them, and with that we are going to be roughly safe until the next upkeep phase. And we're going to take this province. We can click it away now. Okay, there's a trade request. The Atreides wants to trade with us. They want to have Plascreed, influence. They want to give us cash, which is really, really good. In fact, I'm going to accept this, because having a truce is always useful. And more cash is also very useful, because when we pass the 2k hegemony, we can do stuff in our imperial base, which is going to be now. So we got a lot of events at the same time. So first of all, we got a sandworm detection here. So our harvester has to be recalled. We got a new village here. And we reached a 2k hegemony threshold. So now we didn't unlock anything yet. But we can now build in our main base, or imperial base in this case. So what we can do is we can build districts here, and or buildings in this district, and they are going to not only give something like a bonus here. For example, we could go with a research center, which is going to give more knowledge and less upkeep for the research centers. We could go for military buffs, so go with the barracks. We could also go for the administrative hall, which is going to give authority gain and hegemony gain. So, and you can unlock more buildings over time. So one of the buildings I was aiming for, or I will aim for, is the Emperor Monument. So the district bonus is going to get doubled, and all neighboring villages get another trade, instant of the village trade. So it's even more buffs, passive buffs basically, which we want to have. For example, this one would get plus additional 10% income from buildings. So yeah. However, it's very important where you build stuff, because you have a 3-slot district, a 2-slot district, and a 1-slot district. So if we were going to build a bonus here, depending on the building, so like one of these categories, you would get another bonus here. So for example, if we were to build the research lab here, research center here, then we would get the economy bonus, which is going to decrease completion speed of any technology from the economy branch. We could also build the administrative hall here, then we would get the research bonus for all the statecraft developments. If we were to build it here, we would get more salary from the Shoam share dividends, more military power or more influence production, And when we go with the three building district, you would get more Solari production, more influence cap, or armor to your military units. So let's think about what is useful for us. So what we want to do definitely is the Emperor Monument, and we want to have the Administrative Hall. So these are two buildings from the Statecraft department. However, we also want the Solari income from the share dividends, and we also want the economic lobbies. We are not that much interested in military currently, but we also don't need plus 100 maximum influence. So normally what you would do is either build the research center early on to progress much faster, because plus 3 knowledge plus 30% on top, we would have 8 knowledge plus 30% is another 2, so we would be at 10 research, almost doubling it. But also plus 25 authority production is also very much, because we would get additional 1.2. And of course we would get more hegemony, and we would get an money income or salary income from the hegemony score we already have. So that's not easy to decide here. I do think that we are going to go with the influence production income, because we can trade it and we need it at some point. So we are going to go with the knowledge center, research center in fact, in the 1 slot here. And that's it for the moment. That's very expensive in fact. Okay, now we have to hope that our harvester, yes, has been retracted in time. And there's another sandstorm here, which is also
awaiting order.
of course
Copy.
a problem. And now we have to wait until the sandworm is gone again, which looks like we're going to deploy again. Our ornithopter got damaged by the storm and now is repairing at our main base. What do we have here? In fact, we're going to take this one. It has two possibilities. One, we could get intel by using an agent, or we can use military units and patch up the ornithopter which has crashed here. And yeah, okay. We got this one unlocked. Now, where do we want to go from here? We could go for the knowledge production, which would give us another 0.5 knowledge. It's not that much currently. However, lay of the land is quite useful, because we could assign another agent under Arrakis infiltration, which is going to produce 1 more authority. And also, every agent on Arrakis infiltration produces 50% more authority, which is 1.5. So doing lay of the land could get us +2 authority. Very strong. Alternatively, we could go into the spy and logistics to get more agents faster and get toward the Empire Monument, which we definitely want to do. We also definitely want to go this path here. I also want to get Quorum support here. It's very strong. However, I think we want to go here, 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 and then that path. Going to reduce speed a bit. Another element of the game has been unlocked. It's the Hura market. The market basically sells or trades in shares of the whatever galactic economy. And what you can do here is buy stuff. And currently there are 97 shares available for buying. And we currently have 30. And yeah. One victory condition is to get 50% of the total shares to get an economic victory. So if we were to, let's 1k shares is the maximum currently, which will increase over time. We would need to get to 500, which is we have to get 470 additional ones, and each one of them is currently costing around 30. So it's very expensive to do. We could buy, for example, +5, which we are going to do now. Then there's a small cooldown again, and we just want to buy over time because the price is going to skyrocket quite quickly, just due to the fact that everybody is trying to get more shares, and therefore, as you can see, the price is going up again. Okay, we have a new quest. A representative from the Landsrat has been insulted by a local. He seeks for their head. We want to find the fugitive, so we have to produce 100 intel and get 10 votes and 20 Landsrat standing, so basically improving our position in the Empire. Ooh. Liberate. Liberate means we have to free it from another faction. That's nothing we can do currently. So we have to go with intel. However, we are producing 2 per day. And we only have 39 days left. That's not going to add up. So we have to get somewhere. Here we could get intel, but we are not a neighbor of that province. Okay, we have to hope that we can somehow get intel. Okay, first of all, we're going to... You also go auto recon.
Majesty.
Okay, now we have to continue here. We want to build a processing plant here, which is going to exploit the minerals here, the rare elements, and produce us some additional cash. And yeah, so what do we want to do here? Okay, new set of laws or decisions has been proposed, and as the emperor, we can have a certain effect on it. So what we can do here, we could pay 30 influence here to change the scope of that decision. Currently it targets every faction. So for example, every faction would gain 3 Landsrat judges, which is basically a unit you can use for combat. Here it would be one faction which is suffering influence production malus. And this one would basically prevent infiltrations. So here we don't care. It's too early in the game that anyone could try to assassinate you or do any other kind of harm. This one would be a military buff for everyone, so they could loot villages, for example, or do other things. So I'm generally in favor because we could use it to loot a neighboring province. And the influence production, of course, is not good. So we are going to keep it like it is because we don't. I mean, we could. That's maybe a better idea. We could change the scope of this one to all factions because then the other factions are more likely to reject it. So that's what we want to achieve, in fact. Okay, let's check it out here. So basically what we want to do is we want to take out this province next. So we should consider looting this province over here. And maybe even... Oh no, this one is also neighboring. We are targeting for neighbors currently. Our income and plus greed is going up nicely. So at some point we can go for the how it's called, the experimental alloy furnace, which we also want to build in this province here. And in fact, I think the next province we want to take is probably this one, in fact. Okay, building has finished. And we can build it another time because of our buffs here. A raid has been detected. Okay.
We are listening, Majesty.
So there's another siege west of us.
We serve the Imperium.
This province also is very special because it consists mostly of rock. So there are no sandworms here to kill you. Okay, and our district has finished. So now we got a research center and we are up to 10 science per per day, basically. So we could of course build the next building as soon as we have the cash for it. And it's going to cost us 1,500 cash and 500 plus greed.
Yes, Majesty.
Okay, so what do we want to build here? We want to build another... We don't want to build... hard to say. I think we want to build a plus greed factory here too. But we also want to build the recruitment offices. But as start we want to build more incomes of any kind. So we are going to get our next agent soon. Interesting.
Greetings.
That's a acceptable deal because I really want cash. And the prices are going up fast already. Harkonnens are already up to 10%, so they are investing heavily here, which I don't like. What are you doing? Okay, it's a hard choice. We also need the fuel cells here. But this one is cheaper, in fact. Okay, now the voting for the next phase has begun. And of course, what we already discussed, so we want to reject this one, so we're going to put like 20 votes into it. And the remaining 100 votes of our faction are going into the extra units we would get. There's also another agent available. And now we have to think about how we can fix assign someone to, for example, the Harkonnens here, just to get more intel for the quest, in fact. So we have 29 days left, and now we have an income of 7 per day, so we are done in 7. No, that's not enough. 10, 12 days, 12 days basically, which is good. You won't get another quest until you have finished or failed the existing one, so it's in your interest to finish quests soonish. Great Flat, Tall Hills, Deep Desert, the Fort. Okay. The intelligence agency is of course also very interesting, because you get 200% agent recruitment speed, which is a lot. However, that's not what we really need currently. So what we want to do... Ooh, this is a spice field.
We are ready. We obey.
So expensive. Now we are going to loot this place here. And we are going to check this site for the reward.
Yes, Majesty.
Okay. We're going to loot this place for more cash, because we really need it.
Reporting for duty.
We're not producing enough. So we have to put everything in here currently. Going to loot it. 800 bucks. Very useful.
At your service. Ready for instruction.
And there we got the event. So the lens red judges have been passed. And as we expected, the influence production but Malus has been declined. And the investigation has also been approved. So we are going to move these units here, and then we are going to loot this place. Okay, continue.
Reporting for duty. Yes, Majesty.
The looting is done, and with that we can in fact build the next district, which is going to be the administrative hall. And yeah, I think we made a small but nice progress, and now we have to consolidate further and further and think about whether we want to take out this province for us or if we want to take out this province for us. Which is not an easy discussion or thought. So the map basically is where you can see the clouds. So it's basically a circle, and we are at the northern edge of it, so expanding to the northwest is relatively safe. And the center is the polar sink, which is additional water income when you can take care of it, or when you can take control of it. But also the special regions are more common in the middle. So for example, we have Mount Ida here, Mount Idaho, which is going to give hegemony and data center bonus. There's a shield war here, which is going to give upkeep bonuses in the province. And so there's a lot of options, and yeah, But this province is really strong, even though we just looted it, so it's going to be plus 30%. Whew, that's expensive. I guess it will never expire again. So maybe that was a bad decision to loot this one. But, well, now it has happened. So we really have to think about which ones we don't want to take and which ones we want to take. I'm strongly leaning towards... They're both really good. However, we are going to need fuel cells at some point. Therefore, this one is, with the upkeep, like with the bonus on Solari here, this one is easy to pay for itself. So that might be interesting. So yeah, most likely we are going there. And then we have to already think about where we want to do the next Imperial base. So we can, instead of taking it over, we could drop an Imperial base somewhere. So let's take, for example, this one. So we could go here, raise a village, and deploy an Imperial base in its stead. You can use only once. So we could pay 100 authority to drop another forward base. For example, we could go and expand in this direction here and then take over, I don't know, for example, Mount Idaho here, drop a base here and have fun. So of course we shouldn't block a spice field, that would be unwise. Also we shouldn't probably go here because that's like locked into a corner, therefore it doesn't give a lot of benefit. Yeah, probably Mount Idaho is the best location, so we could protect these two regions from here. Or we go further south here, whatever. We really have to see. But for the moment, thank you for watching, see you next time.